Today, I would like to talk to you about the tragedy of the spotted lanternfly, scientific name Lycorma delicatula. Delicatula? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyway, the spotted lanternfly. This poor, misunderstood insect is currently the object of hatred and discrimination for daring to cross imaginary boundaries, both country and state, and has been wrongfully targeted by insectophobes for genocide simply because it is seeking a better life in lusher vegetative areas. Originally found in China and Vietnam, the spotted lanternfly either became a refugee or simply decided to colonize the colonizers in the United States, where it began showing up in 2022, possibly earlier. Bigots against arthropods and various entomophobic groups, such as state entomological societies, soon began spreading false misinformation and disinformation about this adorable and colorful insect, which simply is trying to find its place in a brave new world where it is constantly discriminated against. One filthy lie that has been spread by these anti-lanternfly deplorables is that they will defoliage everything in sight. While it is true that spotted lanternflies like to drive their pointy mouth parts, called a proboscis, into various plants and suck the sap out of them, thus causing damage to fruit orchard and other food-bearing plants and trees, any minimal damages caused by these mostly peaceful migrant insects is offset by their vibrant colors and the biodiversity enrichment they provide. These insects are also known to defecate as they feed, and their waste product is also considered to be toxic and harmful to plants. However, I believe this fact is just being used to further besmirch the name of the spotted lanternflies, and any misunderstanding of their lack of proper hygiene can be chalked up to simple cultural differences that must be accepted by humans and other insects alike. As a side note, I would also like to point out that the natural plant habitat of the spotted lanternfly is also another so-called invasive species of plant, the aptly named tree of heaven, which has taken hold in the United States and is also being discriminated against by foliagophobes who say it chokes out other plants, but that is another video. It is the opinion of this content creator that massive swaths of forest should be cleared and planted with tree of heaven so that spotted lanternflies will feel more comfortable and more at home in their new conquered land. If some ants, bees, leafhoppers, grasshoppers, ladybugs, and spiders need to be moved aside and lose their habitat to accommodate the spotted lanternfly, so be it. Perhaps the Catholic Church and the Biden administration can get involved to assist. This brings me to the part of my presentation that enrages me the most. Calls by fascist, deranged, genocidal, and insecticidal maniacs on the right to halt the flow of and eradicate the spotted lanternfly. What I would like to bring to your attention now is this current picture of a young spotted lanternfly called a nymph. These enchanting, lovable, endearing little tykes are born in clusters of 30 to 50 from egg cases laid lovingly by their mothers. Some people have the unmitigated gall to call these innocent youngsters anchor insects, claiming that their mothers only laid the eggs in the United States in order to make their nymphs citizens. These cuties are known by their black or red bodies spotted with white dots. They ravenously feed, but how is that not normal for any young strapping insect? It's saddening and maddening to know that there are those out there calling on people to squish, burn, mangle, or otherwise murder these unsuspecting, innocent insects of any age. Absolutely disgusting. Even worse is the Nazis asking for anyone making contact with or sighting spotted lanternflies to call their local authorities, otherwise known as the Department of Agriculture, to blow the whistle on these peaceful immigrants. Revolting. In conclusion, I'm begging anyone with a heart and woke enough to care, leave the lanternflies be. Let them take over and dominate the ecosystem. After all, this habitat was originally stolen by the likes of carpenter ants, honeybees, and grasshoppers, and those insects have what's coming to them. Justice for spotted lanternflies, stop the murder, and no borders for insects.